Hey everyone, so it is time for this week's market update. This is for the week ended July 2nd. July 1st, 2023. So for the week, good data sets here for the week. Pretty much the same as last week. We sold 72 houses. We had 745, write that down, 745 supply. Last week we had 756, so supply is down a touch. 756 to 745, supply is down a little bit. We sold 72 houses on the week. Of the houses that we sold, we listed them at $35 million. We sold them for $39 million. Last week we listed for $37 million and we sold for $43 million. So we're technically down about $4 million, about 10%. $4 million. About $4 million less this week. And the reason for that is very cyclical. All of a sudden school got out. It's harder to be able to get out and see houses during the daytime. It's harder to jump on the 401 and come down and buy a house. This will level back off here in a couple weeks. Next week we're going to have, because of the holiday work, we're going to have even less selling next week. Just a normal cyclical move in data sets. No big deal. What we're looking at is we're looking at these things and these things. These are more important than this number anyway. Now, if we look at the average listing price was $491 this week. If we compare that to last week's average listing price was $467. So we're up about $30,000, well, $25,000 in average listing price. Meaning that if you have a budget, if you have less than in this case $491, so let's round it up to $500. If you have less than $500,000 to spend on a house, you're the lower half of the market. If you have more than $500,000 to spend on a house, you're the upper half of the market. Now, of the houses that sold, we sold them for $500. The average selling price was $542,000 of the 71 houses we sold. Or 72 houses we sold. Average selling price $542. Last week's average selling price was $534. So we're up about $10,000 in average selling price. So people are competing for houses. Average selling price $542. So average list price and average selling price are increasing week over week. Now, average overbid has slowed down a little bit. Average overbid between these two, the average overbid was $51,000. That means that if you're selling a house, you can expect, and you want to get $400,000 out of it, you should list it for about $349 to get $400 out of it, because the average over is about 50 to 51. Okay? Last week's average over was 67. So if you're a buyer, it's a great time to be out there looking, because nobody else is out there looking. It's slowed down a little bit. People are on vacation. Now is the time to be out there looking. It's just like when snow hits. It's the same concepts over and over and over again. It never changes. I try to broadcast that as loud as I possibly can as a markets guy. And everybody looks at me like, what are you talking about? You're weird, but it just happens to be that it's a buyer's market right now. We're down $17,000. The average selling price is on sale, $17,000. You're going to pay $17,000 less for a house now than what you would have a week ago. Average selling price, by the way, is higher, $542 versus $534. But there's about a $7,000 disconnect. So we are turning the tides to be a buyer's market. Now, we'll have to see how this plays out as time goes on, because inventory went down. If inventory was going up and this data was out here, then I would say that it's more. There's more signals that a buyer's market is coming in. But right now, it just happens to be a good time to be out there looking for a house if you're a buyer. A lot of other people aren't out there looking for a house right now. I have one that is out looking for a house, and it's a little difficult because he can't make a decision. But that's okay. He'll get there. I just have to be patient with him. And I'm doing that. So average over was 50,000. So if we think about the average over list is about 10.36% on average. Because 491 was the average listing price, and average overbid was about 10.36%. 10.36% of this. Now, how many houses sold under the asking price? Just 12. Okay. We sold 72, so if I take 12 divided by 72, that was 16.6% of our houses sold under the asking price. Now last week that was 14, but we sold more houses. That was 14 divided by, how many houses was that? 81, just 17.2%. So there were more houses selling under the asking price than what this past week. So again, it's a mixed bag of data. The data is very mixed, showing that this data shows it's a seller's market. This data shows that, hey, there's some kind of a sale going on for buyers. This data is saying it's nobody's market, and then this is saying there's less people buying right now. So it is definitely mixed signals that we're getting in the data feed. But that's okay. It's all good. Average market is holding up very strong at 542. That's up from last week. So all of that data is looking good. Now, if we look at how many houses, if you are thinking about selling, one of the things that your advisor is going to talk to you about is commission structure on the sell side. So the realtor coming in your door is going to demand some percentage to work for you. And he's going to, or she is going to say, hey, we need to give that other realtor, the competing realtor, some percentage. Now, so what is it that we're seeing from the concepts of, we see that there were 42 houses of the 72 that sold at just 2.0% commission. So the trend is definitely down in commission structure from the competing realtors side of the equation. I don't know what the listing realtor is taking. The listing realtor may be taking 3%. I don't know that. I just know that I work at 2%. It's what I do, giving all of my clients a discount. So, but we see also that there were 26 houses at 2.5%, which has always been the standard rate. So we're starting to see a little bit of a change here. People are choosing to do 2. But there were also 4 people that said, no, I don't want to do 2.25. I don't want to do 2.0. That's too low. I'm not going to get as much traction. Let's split that in the middle. Let's go 2.25. Okay. Now, so when we think about underperformance or overperformance, if our average overperformance was 10.36%, then we have to sit back and look over here and say, okay, how did these do? And so if we look at the data sets of the 14 that went over, they did 53.8%. Don't worry about this word here. These houses that went over did 52.3%. But these houses, the people that chose 2.25 actually did 75%. So 75% of the houses that were listed, three of them, 75%, did better than the average over selling price. Okay? So what that tells us is that if you're listing your house and you want your house to perform well, then you should not be in the herd, but stick out a little bit and use a 2.25. Just more people are going to pay attention to it. They're getting an extra 1/4 percentage point. It's not like it's a lot of money anyway. But if you want your house to perform the best, then you would be looking at a 2.5% sell side rate. So if we think about it here, when I come in and talk to you about listing your house, what I'm going to talk to you about is all of this math stuff here. But I'm going to say, hey, please, I'm going to work at 2.0. But please take that difference, that 0.5 discount that I'm giving you, and either bump up the sell side commission from 2.5 to 2.75, still giving you a discount because you're still saving 0.25. But please, please, please don't do 2.0 because it's going to be very hard for me to be able to outperform what the averages are. And we want to outperform the averages. We want to do better. So when we think about commission structure, and you're thinking about selling your house, please say to that other realtor that's listing your house for you, wait a second, I don't want to give you 3%. I want to give the competing broker, because I've been shown time and time again that if I give the competing broker more percentage, I have a better chance of doing better with my house. So what I want to do is I want to give you, at the very least, the listing realtor 2.0%, like what I do, but then take and pay the competing broker more. You'll do better. I don't know what the realtors that are listing houses are out there charging right now. I just know what I charge, which is 2.0. And I do all the professional photography. I do all the professional video. I have a listing coming up that was just slightly delayed. I've got a beautiful listing coming up on Liberty, which is going to be coming up for the 19th of July, which is going to be good because it's going to be just as I come back from a little vacation as well, too. And he's already weighing, am I listing at 2.5 or am I listing at 2.75? He's already figuring that out for him. And if there was a listing at 2.75, it would be the only listing at 2.75, and you better believe that a lot of people would be going through to see it because it'd be the only one. It would stick out like a rocket ship. It would say, hey, we're willing to pay you more to sell our house. Bring your clients, bring your offers. So technically, yes, sell side commission is coming down in the city of Windsor. It's no longer the standard 5. You might be able to get it done and outperform the market at 4.75, which is again on sale from a seller's market perspective, which is great. Overperformance and less commission. Let's talk about that. Give me a jingle if you'd like to have some questions about real estate. If you're in the process of buying, understand that I am one of the only realtors in the city of Windsor that rebates back to you if you're a buyer. We do all the work. And then I rebate back a very substantial housewarming gift of 10% of my earned commission. So if I'm earning 2%, then you get a percentage of that back. If I'm earning 2.5 or 2.25, you get a percentage of that back. You actually get a little bit better percentage back at the higher commission structures. So, and then if you're a seller, understand that I'm automatically giving you I'm doing all the fancy handy dandy things that every realtor does. I'm actually doing more because I'm doing professional video as well too, and that professional video will sell your house. Trust me, it's a great tool that very few realtors can do. They just don't have the skill sets of being able to talk on a camera like I do. It's just one of those natural skill sets that I have. So at the end of the day, if you're thinking about selling your house, give me a jingle. If you're thinking about buying a house, give me a jingle, 519-995-6145. Have a great day. Market seems very, very strong, seems very, very even from week over week. Nothing seems to be, it's a mixed market, buyer and seller, which is good. That's a fair, active market. Give me a jingle today. Have a great day. Bye-bye.